10:30. And there is the recording in progress, okay? So I'll tell you, today, you get me. And you get me because you know what, life happens, and when life happens, you know, you adjust, you shift, you pivot, you do what you have to do. And the presenter that was due up today will hopefully be on in the next 2 weeks, and you won't want to miss that. So I get to step in. And I thought, you know what, I've had so many amazing presenters on that, again, bring the meat every week. And, you know, I started the darn thing. So I'm like, I can't, Lorenzo, I can't let you down, bro, because you brought it. And the Godfather, I mean, you brought it, right? And so here's what happened. So last night, you know, my parents are, I mean, their health issues are just crazy. I've got two at the same time, and for months they were both in the hospital. And so last night I'm at my parents' house and I'm helping my dad get into bed. And I thought, okay, well, I've got to present today, and what in the world am I going to talk about, right? My buddy Steve, who's right there on the screen to me, he's right next door to me. And Steve and I, we talk all the time about life and business, and we can pontificate for hours, right? But I thought, to this group, you know, what kind of message can I bring that hopefully someone needs to hear? And so I'll just tell you, as when I got Dad into bed, I just sat down and was quiet with myself. And I just started, I put pen to paper. And so I'm going to read you what I came up with. And I feel like this is probably either a poem or an ode. And I'd say it's probably an ode to just showing up, right? So bear with me, because typically I don't have to read, but I just wrote this last night at 11:30. Okay, so I'm going to entitle this I Need You. Okay, so hear it with James Earl Jones's voice, not mine. Okay, because I think it'll be more impactful. But I'll start by saying, I need you to keep standing, and then don't give up, okay? I need you to keep giving without expecting to receive back. I need you to show up, don't stop, okay? I need you to keep loving even when others don't love you back. I need you to stay strong even when you're feeling weak. I need you to keep winning even when the clock is short. I need you to stay focused, especially when you aren't seeing things clearly. I need you to keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and then doing it better, okay? I need you around me, so don't leave me lonely. I need you to keep dreaming and reaching for new heights. I need you to not get discouraged when things are tough. I need you to keep failing and failing, and then failing faster. I need you to slow down without stopping. I need you to keep getting up even after being knocked down. I need you to simply show up, so eventually we can show out, right? And as quick as that was, that's what was on my heart last night at 11:30. And I hope that someone needed to hear that. There was a sentence in there that describes you, where you're at, what you're going through, this stage of life. You know, we equate so much to real estate, but I think that we all have things that we're going through, business, personal, mental, It really doesn't matter. So I hope it resonated with someone. And I'll tell you that here in the South, and maybe, they say this up in the North, Northeast, Southwest, Southeast, but I've heard it for years. And it seems to tie into this very well. It's an acronym that is PUSH. Meryl, you might have heard this, right? So it's PUSH, and the P, and we can insert at least one or two, three different P's here, but typically the first P is pray. Okay, the U.S.H stands for pray until something happens, right? I think I can insert push until something happens. I can insert pursue until something happens. For me, being a man of faith, I believe that something happens is always positive and it's never negative. It's pursuing your dreams, chasing things that you want. Even if that can be business related, personal related, financial gains, it doesn't really matter. But if you'll stay focused and determined, then something will happen. And I believe that something will happen will be very positive for you and your family and your life, right? What do we say here at Keller Williams God Family Business? And I've got a few people on that are not with our company. And I love it when those folks join in. So probably the quickest meeting I've ever had, but I'm not letting you go. So Christina, I'm going to do something I don't typically do because most of you guys are you're all on mute. So if there's Alexandra, thanks for chiming in from Illinois. If there's something that you're wanting to share with the group or even ask me personally, again, this is a bit unorthodox because typically, I've got greats already lined up that step in this gap here. But if there is something that is on your heart or on your mind, feel free to take yourself off mute for a minute and share. And then if not, you know what, we'll all go take care of business because clearly there's someone's needs out there that we need to serve, right? So anybody got anything they wanted to chime in quickly on?
Well, for me, thank you, Ben Baker, for the P for me is prayer.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we all may not be Christians or whatever the case may be. However, prayer is the activation of what it is that we are looking for. And I would share with you that as a real estate professional, we do focus on lead generation and making 20 contacts a day. And yet sometimes where we are, the first step may be prayer, which is an affirmation. The reason why I say prayer is because, as a man who has been in the business for 18 years, I'm also a divorcee. I'm also a father. I'm also a father who has had a deceased child. And I share that because when life happens, you can't really get that form of education in a real estate class when life shows up, right? And when you lose a child, it's not about lead generation no more, right? It's about how do I move forward from that? And that's why, for me, P is prayer, because we all want to be, we're all professionals and we all are thinking about how to generate income. But what happens when life shows up? How do you show up as a professional when life itself shows up? That's the thing that we have to think about. It may not be the loss of a child. It could be a divorce. It could be anything. It could be COVID-19, right? We're in 2022, and for Father's Day, I traveled with my daughter who had a severe cold. And before I was able to enter my father's home, I had to give her a COVID-19 test because he's 74 and her nose is running. And I didn't think ahead of time before I left my home about, oh my God, my 8-year-old could have COVID-19. The anxiety of going through a Father's Day weekend this weekend and about infected my elderly parents took me through so many emotions.
Amen. 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 I tell you, Lorenzo, I appreciate you sharing that. I probably know that, unfortunately, you and I are in an exclusive club that no one wants to be a member of, and that's losing a child. And what you and I both know is, prayer is. That's why I started with, again, you just have to push. You have to pray until something happens. But I'll tell you, and I'll bring this full circle with even the folks that I'm looking at here on the screen. I know that I would have never gotten through what I had to go through without supportive community, folks who love you, respect you, who want to lift you up, because I am the guy who, again, even my motto, my slogan says, I'm the one to lean on. And what I realized, as strong as I am, and I'm a big guy, that I needed somebody to lean on. Again, I am a man of faith, but I'll tell you that my neighborhood community I grew up in, my high school, my university, the real estate community here in the North Dallas area, my Keller Williams family helped me take one step after another when I didn't think that I could walk at all. And so, guys, again, without getting too deep, because I think this was really more of a poem, but that's what was on my heart. And I feel like it came full circle. And so I appreciate community because we need each other. I wish that more people thought like we do, because what they should realize is that this isn't about us trying to recruit you to Keller Williams or EXP or Compass Realty. This is about community. This is about us all learning and growing from each other. And most of us are like-minded. We're learning based, and we know that we can go farther together than we could ever go alone. And so, again, I appreciate you guys just chiming in each and every week. And I promise you next week, I'll bring more meat. I think today I might have brought some cold cuts, but it's meat nonetheless. It's still meat, right? So we still get to eat, and we get to spend this last 15 minutes together. And so I appreciate you. And unless there's something else, let's go make it happen. What you got, Jay?
I was just going to say, find something to be grateful for every single day. And there's very few times where that position is filled by Ben Baker in my life. We're becoming friends, and I've never been more proud than to say, I'm friends with Ben Baker. And that's it.
Again, I appreciate you. And again, I feel so fortunate and blessed that I've got a chance to meet so many folks that come in and week out. And I think now that we're at a point where Merrill and I just, every time I travel, I expect to see him. And he knows that the smile that he brings to my face, because Merrill and I, even when we embrace each other, it's just different. It's not the standard, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you. I mean, it's a hug and embrace that typically only is reserved for family and close friends. And I just, Merrill, I'm giving you your flowers right now, bro.
Go ahead, Ben. It's cool.
So Ben, you know, and this is good that everybody is on this call this way, because whether Lorenzo said, oh, we're not all a Christian or whatever, but you cannot be a real estate professional and not be a person of faith, because none of us ever know how much our earnings are going to be. So we go out here and we operate in faith, whether you're a Christian or not, every day.
Every day.
All right, that's the first thing. And secondly, we've just come through a season where, you know, how fun is it to sit at a closing table when every single seller is getting six figures? How fun is that for everyone? Okay, well, that season is shifting. And we have got to realize that while that was a season, all seasons are seasons. You can't just have summer every day. You've got to have fall and winter and spring, all of those. And so we're moving into a new season, and it's a different time when, you know, maybe the sellers are not. I remember when sellers were short selling and couldn't close and had to have banks write off balances and so forth. And so our job is really to manage people through life changes, because everyone is doing a real estate transaction because something has changed in their life. You know, I've got an empty nest now, so I'm going to downsize. We're having a new baby, and so we're going to get a bigger house. I got a new promotion, so I can get a finished basement. Things are changing in people's lives. And so we have got to understand that the life things that you guys are sharing today are just part of life. And how many times, no, I have not had a child to die. I've had a miscarriage, which to me, it was the same thing as a death because I knew that the child was coming. But every single thing that happens in our lives is not just for us. And when that happened, I remember your son. I remember that just like it was yesterday. And my heart broke and ached for you, and still does. And it just, you know, all of those things are not just for us. And so the community is supposed to come and shore you up. Those are pivotal things that you will never be the same again. You just won't be. And I've experienced losses like that, and all those losses are things that when we go sit in these people's dining rooms, we don't know what they're dealing with. We don't know. I also am a divorcee. I know what that is, and that's a death too of a marriage, because regardless of what happened, when people stand up at an altar, they are not thinking, oh, I'm going to get a divorce. So when you're doing that, you know, we've got to be aware that our job is to manage people through life changes. It has very little to do with these houses, because if they don't trust you with their business, I mean, with their issues, they'll never trust you with the business of doing the transaction.
Well, brother, you forgot. How about like the calls that I'm getting right now? You know, grandma died, so grandma left her house. Or I'm getting a call like my husband has become an alcoholic due to COVID. Like, you know, just working from home and the stresses of life, and he can't maintain a job now but we need to sell. But when we sell, we're gonna make $200,000 so we can get him some treatment. I'm getting those type of calls. I'm getting calls like, you know, just when life shows up. And as professionals, we have to be able to articulate the response to when life shows up now. Like, you know, it's not about the commission check that you're gonna make from the closing. It's because food, look, a pack of chicken thighs right now is $17.98. I know because I had chicken thighs last night for dinner. I couldn't afford the breast. You get it? Gas
I don't know
prices are
that
going
person, but
up.
whoever he is my spirit animal.
So true.
Got it.
The cost of everything. Well, again, I tell you this, one thing that is free is, you know what, love, support, community. And again, that's how I'm going to wrap it all up and tie it together. So again, I appreciate you guys sharing. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. And so let's continue to do that. And you know what, let's continue. Like I said, I don't even remember what the line was I wrote. You know, let's continue to keep loving even when others aren't really necessarily loving you back, right? You just give. And what we know is that givers give, and others just take. That's all they do is take, and they hate. So you know what? We need more haters. Bring on the haters for me, because that gives me fuel to keep doing what I do. So haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate. So guys, let's go make it happen. Let's go happen. I appreciate you guys chiming in this week. Like I said, a bit unorthodox, but you know what? Again, I also feel like this is the way we were led today. And so, you know what? We don't have to complain about it at all. This is life happening, and you pivot, and you shift, and you adjust. So thanks for pouring into me today and into the group.
I just want to say one thing before we go. I love that you said that you phrased everything as I need you to. Like everything said, I need you to. So like that's what we say to ourselves, is that I need you to do this and I need you to be that. And it kind of ties into something I heard this morning where he said, are you going to say I want that or I will do that? And I think both of those go so close and hand in hand. And it's like such a tiny shift to the word, but it makes all the difference, because it's like, do I want to be consistent or will I be consistent? And I think, yeah, so that just tied perfectly with everything you said. And I love the push too. That is going to be a good reminder.
Well, I hope that, again, we talk about community. Here's how crazy this is. So that young lady right there, we sat next to each other when we were in Orlando, right? And we just sparked up a conversation. Then we realized we were both going to the same class. And I think she saved me a seat, or I saved her one. And so now I feel like, you know, I'm not letting you go. So I'm so glad that you're now part of my community. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. And hopefully all of you guys, either, you know, we'll see you at Mega Camp. I'll see you in Boston for Fall Masterminds, whatever it is. I'm going to get a chance to go up to the Maryland, Virginia, DC area and hang out with Bo and Kimber and that whole group. And definitely my next trip to Atlanta, I'm letting Merle just take me out to one of his favorite restaurants. So just so you know, just telling you. All right, guys, we've been on long enough. Let's go make it happen, right? I'll see you next week. Y'all be good. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate you chiming in.